Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Country Style Budget. I'm Nicola, aka Nick. How are you? Hope you're okay. Happy Tuesday. Today's video is a bit different. I'm going to do a video all about what I spent in America and how cash stuffing helped me prepare for it. So yeah, that's in a nutshell, nothing really more to say. So it's not an exciting video, I'm just going to be talking, no cash stuffing, but hopefully you find it interesting and you want to watch. And cash stuffing, you've been thinking about it and just want some honest opinions of how it can help, then great. I'm also thinking in a couple of weeks of doing a how to start cash stuffing video. So let me know in the comments below if that is something you would be interested in watching. But without further ado, let's crack on. Can I just say I am still in love with the Alice in Wonderland box from Ethereal Printing, Kirsten and Sean. This is their 52 weeks in Wonderland challenge. Now I'm going to start this. We go to Disney approximately the middle of September next year. So I'm thinking I'm going to start this challenge like end of August this year. And then I'll have 52 weeks, have a year to see how much I can save. There's all different things. So like save £1, save £2. And then I'm going to put that towards Disney. So, oh, that's a lot. Save £20. Ooh. Oh, yeah, because she's the Red Queen, so it would be higher because she's evil. But I'm using it as a little sheet to cover everything. But that's that. Now, if you didn't know already, and if you've been watching my channel, I haven't hidden it. I was very excited about going to America last week. We booked it originally in July last year, but we cancelled it early this year for different reasons, and we were lucky to book it again. The second time we booked it, we got it cheaper. Don't ask me why. Same flights, same hotel, well, different flights, but still with British Airways, slightly later flight, but same hotel, same room, same everything, and it was like £150 each cheaper. So the flights and hotels were approximately £1,500 each for both me and my dad. Now, if you've never been to America, there is a couple of disclaimers that you need to know. One, they don't do all-inclusive. You are pretty much paying for a flight and a hotel room, and that's it. Everything else you pay for yourself. There are no inclusivities, if you will. Okay, very rarely you might find a hotel that does bed and breakfast, but that's like 1 in every 100, if not more. Okay, the majority of hotel rooms in America, and I include Disney in this because that's important, is room only. You are solely paying for a room. Now, there are pros and cons to that concept. Obviously, you pay less when you start the holiday. For the holiday, you pay less. But then, on the flip side, when you get to America, it can be expensive to eat and drink, which is what we found. Now, yes, we did go to the capital city. It probably hiked the prices up a little bit, but there is obviously a cost of living crisis throughout the world, and America is no different. I expected it to be expensive, but I did not appreciate how much more expensive it was going to be. And that comes from someone who lived in London for 8 years. So I was used to things being dearer than most places in the UK. So that's the disclaimer. Now, so obviously our biggest expense was the flight and hotel. Now I'm going to try and do this in some sort of order, but I will probably go off on a tangent because that's just what I do, but we'll see. I really hope this is recording, because if not, I might actually cry. Hold on. I think it's recording. We'll find out. Anyway, So, yes, we we got the train from Hertfordshire to Heathrow. This is something I personally had never done, and neither had my dad. But friends of him had done it recently, and he wanted to experience it. I was fine with that. But the mistake we made, one, I think we went too early, because we got to London Liverpool Street, which is a big train station. Oh, sorry, I'm really burpy today. I'll have some water. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Oh. What was I saying? Yes. Because we reached Liverpool Street, which is a big hub. It serves the southeast into Essex and beyond. And we got there at 8:30 on a Wednesday morning, which was smack bang in the middle of rush hour. And when you're trying to, maneuver 2 big suitcases, and my dad, who, he's not stupid, he's street smart, but he doesn't know London as well as I do, for obvious reasons. So it was a bit of a challenge. But thankfully, a couple of male commuters helped us carry our suitcases when we needed them to. And once we got down onto the tube and to the Elizabeth line, and also, if you ever go to London, the next time you go, please go on the Elizabeth line. Even if you don't have to, just go via it. It is clean, it is modern, it is big, it is lovely, and I'd like to think we did the Queen proud. It is a beautiful line. So, yeah. But it only cost us £25 to get from Hertford to Heathrow, and it took approximately an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. So all in all, it wasn't too bad. Okay. Now, what I took in spending money. Now, my dad took more money than I did. That's not boasting. He just has more of it. He wanted to take more. And to be fair, just as well we did. I'll get to that in a minute. But me alone, I took £500 on a Revolut card. Now, I would say to anybody, whether you're going to America or abroad in general, take some sort of card. And I don't mean a debit card, and I don't mean a credit card. I mean a card, whether it's Revolut, Monzo, Chase, there are numerous around. I do believe Revolut is popular because there was quite a lot of British and Irish people in Washington when we were there, funnily enough, and I saw a lot of people using Revolut cards. So simple, so easy to use, and this isn't an ad by any stretch. I don't know who these people are, but it was brilliant and it was fantastic. So your next holiday abroad, get a card. Secondly, I took $325 US in cash. One, to spend as spending money, but also for tipping. I will get to that in a minute. It's a grey area. So I had £125/dollars for 1 week. Okay. Now, before we went, we knew that our biggest expense was going to be food and drink. I hadn't been to America since 2023 when I went to Miami, and my dad hadn't been since 2019, before COVID, so a considerable amount of time. And even in the 2 and a bit years since 3 years, since I'd been there, the prices were extortionate. Now, for example, and I'll get more into food later, one evening we went to the hotel bar and my dad brought a Bud Light and I brought a Sprite. I do drink alcohol, but very rarely, and very rarely on holiday. And it was $30. And that excluded a tip. My dad put $25 down as cash, didn't look at the receipt, and the guy called him back and said it's not enough. And it's $30, which is approximately about £24 for a small Bud Light and a Sprite, which is more expensive than London. So hopefully that will give you how expensive drinks were. Food I'll get to in a minute. Now, tipping. As I said, tipping is a grey area. It's not something we do in England or Britain, Ireland, wherever. It is not part of our culture. Yes, if you go for a meal in a restaurant, they may add a gratuity, they may add a service charge. If they add that, you do not tip, because the service charge is the tip. But in America, tipping is an unwritten law. Now, I have recently read over the last couple of weeks, and since I've been back, that Americans themselves are getting frustrated with the tipping culture, if you will, because they have a high cost of living, they have a cost of living crisis, their wages aren't going up, but people are expecting to tip more. The whatever you want to call it, the average amount you should tip someone is 20%, which is a lot. No matter how you think about it, 20% is a lot. Now, the flip side of that is the only people we did not tip were Uber drivers, because I don't tip Uber drivers in England, and also their tip is included in the price of the Uber in America. So that was fine. And you also do it on an app, so it's just easier. But everybody else, and I mean everybody, bellhops, doormen, maids, private taxi drivers, restaurant people, servers, waiters, anybody you tip, even if it's just a couple of dollars. And let me tell you, it adds up after a while. It really does. So, for example, on one day, we had run out of toilet paper. They only gave us one toilet paper, and that lasted us like 2 days. And we ran out, and the maids came to clean our room. And don't get me wrong, they cleaned our room every day. They made the beds, they gave us fresh towels. My dad did moan a bit because we didn't get robes and we didn't get proper towels, as in bath towels. They were very small, and neither him or me are small people. So, yeah. Anyway, that's just a personal thing. And I called down to reception and I asked someone to bring up a toilet roll. And they brought up a toilet roll, which obviously I didn't pay for, but I had to tip the guy $5. So I might as well have gone out and brought a packet of toilet roll for $5. You know, it's just strange. It's just a strange culture, and if you're not used to it, it could bite you in the bottom, to be honest. So, just if you ever go to America, wherever you go, just know that tipping is important. Now, as previously said, our two biggest expenses were food and Ubers. Now, I'm going to go through the Revolut card first. Now, as I said previously, the Uber app, the Ubers that we took, we tried, in general, Dad and I tried to split everything 50-50. I did most of the Ubers because I had the app. He did have the app, but he didn't know how to use it very well. I've obviously used it 1,000 times. And if I paid for an Uber or paid for dinner or vice versa, he would give me half in cash and vice versa. So we tried to make it fair. Now, so the Revolut card was predominantly for Ubers. Now, Ubers alone, I paid nearly £110. Just me. Not my dad, just me. So say if my dad gave me probably $50 altogether in Ubers. It's a lot for a week, £110. This is pounds, not dollars. And that includes $70 to get back to the airport for our flight home. Though I will concede, I did book us a massive car when we went back to the airport at Dulles International. It was the biggest thing I'd ever seen. It was like an extra $10. And yeah, we probably could have got there in a normal SUV, but I wanted to treat ourselves, and the car was one of the most comfortable cars I've ever been in. Leather seats, like little armchairs. We each got a little armchair in the back of the car. So soft, so comfy. And the roads in America are really smooth. Hardly any potholes, hardly any problems. So I fell asleep. And if you know me well, which a few of you do, I fall asleep anywhere. Ironically, the only place I don't fall asleep is on a plane. But cars, buses, trains, I'll be asleep. So I will have a nap when we go to the cash stuffing Christmas party in November, and I'm on the train from London to Stockport. It'll take about probably 2.5, 3 hours. I will have a nap without question. I went to Folkestone to see my best friend in January, and I was only on the train for like an hour and a bit. I fell asleep. Anyway, never mind. Sorry, I told you I'd go off on a tangent. Now, regarding transport, we did use the metro a few times. Washington, D.C. is a small city. For a capital city, it's very small. Haven't been to many, but it's small. It does have a metro subway underground system, but it's, again, small. There's only 5 lines, and it is probably not even a third of the size of the underground. Our London tube is big. But it was very easy to get around. We used our Revolut cards, and my dad, I've never seen someone so impressed by the whole tap in, tap off. And I explained to him, we used our Revolut card. You can do it in England on the tube or train stations. You just tap your contactless. If you have a contactless debit or credit card or Oyster card in London, and it's brilliant. And every journey was $2, which was nothing. When we went to Arlington Cemetery, we went by metro because it would have been a lot in Ubers, because it was about 40 minutes away, and we couldn't take a scooter. So yeah, brilliant. Speaking of scooters, now, my dad has a chronic back problem, and this is a culmination of, he was a bricklayer for 45 years, so he did a lot of bending and a lot of manual labour. He also has a bulging disc in his lumbar spine, which is the lower part of the spine where the small of your back is. And it went the first morning we were there, on the Thursday morning. He woke up. I found the bed really comfortable. We had separate beds. He found it a bit too soft, and I don't think it was supportive enough for his back. And we walked down the road to go for breakfast, like a 5-10 minute walk, and he could barely stand up. He could barely walk. And we'd been there like 14 hours, and we had breakfast. We made it back to the hotel, and we sat down and we said, like, what are we going to do? What are our options? And we basically had 2 options. One, we fly home, because there was no way he could stay there, and I wasn't going to stay there by myself. And 2, we try and get a mobility scooter. Now, we had spoken about a mobility scooter for him before we had gone, and he was adamant, no, I don't want one, I don't want to look sad, I don't want to look blah, blah, blah. Even though I had specifically said to him, we're only going for a week, you don't know anybody, who cares? And when I say there was a lot of walking, I love walking, I don't drive, so I pretty much walk everywhere. I walked on average in Washington 18 to 19,000 steps a day. And there is no way in hell he could have done that. So I Googled, as we do, and I was able to find a place not far away that did mobility scooters. Now, I originally hired a small one, just a normal foldable one, and it was like £250, £260 for the week. Well, 6 full days, Thursday to Tuesday. But then we were waiting for it to arrive in the hotel lobby, and I get an email from the guy saying, we don't have any small ones, we only have an extra large one. Now, I'm going to try and input a picture of the extra large one in this video. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it is on my Instagram. And to say it was extra large is an understatement, but for my dad it was perfect, and the pavements are so much bigger and smooth, so it was great. and we didn't have to pay any extra more money. And it really, really was a godsend. There was no way we would have stayed if we didn't have it. Now, my dad paid for that. I offered to go halves on it. I was more than prepared and happy to do that, but my dad said, no, this is on me. This is something for him, so he paid for it. He has more savings than I do, so he paid for it. And I've never been more grateful for that, if I'm without being selfish. Now, food. As I've said, food was expensive. Now, I paid with both cash and Revolut on my card. I didn't keep receipts, so I can't tell you how much I spent on cash, but just on my Revolut card alone, just me, again, not my dad, I spent nearly £170 a week. Now, £45 of that, I will admit, was a little grocery shop we did on the first day. We went to buy biscuits and crisps and orange juice and a couple of things for the hotel room, because there was a fridge there, which was really handy and helpful. But if you subtract that £45, I still spent nearly £130 a week just on food, and we didn't eat 3 square meals a day. So, yeah, I can't remember the last time I spent £160 a week. Probably not even Christmas. Me, personally, maybe as a family, we probably would, but, so, yeah, I would say if you are planning on going to America anytime soon, especially if you have children, and I've said this before, they don't do all-inclusive. Now, I've been on several all-inclusive holidays to Spain and other places, and I think it's great, especially with young children. When we were kids, my parents couldn't afford all-inclusive. It was still deemed oh my god, you went all-inclusive. This was the 90s. It's different. Now it's more affordable, and I think it's great. Kids can eat as much as they want, and if you as parents or adults run out of money, you're still going to eat. But in America and other places, especially on city breaks, that it doesn't happen. So just be aware of that, okay? And I don't want to sound like a broken record, and I don't want to make people bankrupt, and stick to a budget. We had a budget, and miraculously I came home with money. I came home with $110 in cash, and I had about £55 to £60 on my Revolut card. So we were okay, but we still spent a lot of money on food and drink. Not gonna lie. Now, if you're still with me, thank you for my waffling. Like I said, it's not the most interesting of subjects, but I want to be honest. I want to, we all deserve a holiday. We all deserve to do things. We work hard. We save money, and I want to be honest about my money journey and, and how cash stuffing itself has helped. Now, I started cash stuffing back in September 2025, approximately 9-10 months ago now. And I started it because I got a second job. I work in HR at a local NHS trust Monday to Friday, and I got a second job Saturday and Sunday working at my local Boots chemist. We had already booked the holiday to America, so I needed to pay for it. If I wanted to do everything, I couldn't do that with my normal wage. I also wanted to save some money in general, pay off debt, blah, blah, blah. So I got the second job. And I'm not going to lie, if anything, the £600 a month has been great and has helped me. Cash stuffing works. There is no other way to say it. It works. Whether you save £5 a week or £500 a week, little and often, and I say this from experience over the last 10 months, really does add up. As a result of cash stuffing, I paid the £1,500 for my flights and hotel to America in cash. I didn't put it on a credit card. I paid for it in cash. Secondly, I had saved £500 for a Revolut card and £300 in cash as spending money, plus money for clothes. I brought some new clothes that I used my mini challenges with, and I had saved, these are not them, but examples of minis, that I saved £130 with, plus just general sinking funds, savings, blah, blah, blah. So if you're thinking of starting cash stuffing, please do. Don't be afraid. Don't think to yourself, well, I only have X amount a month to save, or a week. Little and often. That's all it matters. And what I did for my, and I'm going to do this again for my Disney holiday next year. I'm just waiting. I need to buy some printer ink. I've run out of printer ink, and I need to buy some probably soon, because I've printed off a few new. What I did for Washington's was I made cash envelope inserts, and I like to keep everything separate because I like to know what I've got and what each category has and what I plan to save for each thing. So Ubers at Disney, souvenirs, the Premier Inn, we're going to stay at a Premier Inn the night before at Gatwick, holiday shopping beforehand. I've got lots of other categories, but like I said, ran out of printer ink. And I have to shout out to my friend Amms, Budget with Amms. Please give her a follow on Instagram and YouTube. She does a holiday buffer envelope, which I did myself. And I can't remember exactly how much I saved. I think I saved about £75. And that buffer paid for the Uber from our hotel back to the airport in Washington. So it allowed me to book a nicer car. Obviously, you can use it for anything. But it's a really good thing to have. I'm going to use this one again because we're going to America next year. I've got these two savings challenges from Cherie, Essex Cash Stuffing, which I'm going to use. Can you see? I've got the Alice in Wonderland challenges that I'm going to use for my Disney envelopes. I've also designed some trackers that I want to print out. So I will do a video of setting that all up if people want to watch that. Please let me know in the comments below if that's something you would be interested in. I'm also, like I said in the beginning, planning on doing a how to start cash stuffing video. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you're interested in. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm sorry, like I said, I hope you learned something. I hope that it doesn't put you off going traveling. It doesn't put you off going to America if it's something you want to do. But this is my experience, and if I can motivate and help someone start cash stuffing, then go for it. You know, because to say it's helped me is an understatement. I would not be where I am now if I hadn't have started. So yeah, that's enough mush for today. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. I'm Nicola, aka Country Style Budgets. Please follow me on Instagram. Hope you have a great afternoon and evening. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video.